Very nice, very nice. Leave the leg up and you're going to bring it down after. Tippy toe the foot. Yeah, tippy toe. Look out the window.
Want to make sure you are up to date with everything on this channel? Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell. Also, don't forget more detailed versions of this video are on my blog, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter in the description. There is no mistaking that boudoir photography is my passion. However, like all crafts, the skill of doing it well takes a little while. Each boudoir photography shoot makes us a bit better because we learn just a little more from the last shoot we did. Nothing beats experience, plain and simple. But through the years, I've realized that in boudoir photography, you learn how to develop a good relationship with a model, get the right camera settings, and set your shooting priorities by just doing it. The act of just doing means learning from experience, but it also means learning from your mistakes. Mistakes are a necessary evil to becoming a better boudoir photographer. You can only get better if you do wrong and find out how you did wrong. So to get you on the road to improvement, I've identified 10 mistakes I made in my boudoir photography. Hopefully, by knowing these mistakes, you can avoid them and elevate yourself quicker to what I like to call boudoir photography perfection. So without any delay, here are my 10 boudoir photography mistakes everyone should and can avoid. So many think that boudoir is all about what you do not wear. However, what you do wear becomes even more critical when you've got next to nothing on. I discovered this by doing a couple of shoots where, by just changing heels, the whole look was altered. Clothing is to boudoir photography what accessories are to fashion photography. Clothing fittings are all about seeing what works ahead of time. Even though your end result might not exactly be what you expect, put the odds in your favor by having the model try clothing on. How clothing flows and accentuates a body is important. Therefore, seeing what clothing fits and how it fits will benefit all. With boudoir photography, scouting locations is essential. Beauty and sensuality have to do with the body and its relationship to the space that it is in. How a space overpowers a person can demonstrate vulnerability. How a body fills a space can demonstrate power as well. Never underestimate how much a photography location can convey a visual message. Factors like lighting in a room, how much furniture is in a room, wall color, texture, and reflectiveness are so important in highlighting the human form.
Make sure you open up your mind to a lot of different places to go shoot when you're shooting boudoir. Don't only think of the bedroom. You can go to Airbnb and find locations that are great, and you can actually rent office space for an afternoon and use that office space to also do boudoir.
Life is all about expectations. In boudoir photography, you need to manage those expectations. Two things are sure to happen at the end of a photo shoot. You will either be pleasantly surprised or disappointed. There's no middle ground. Images you thought amazing can sometimes disappoint later. And images you thought terrible end up being some of the best photography you've done yet. So both the end of the actual shoot and the review of your shoot in Adobe Bridge or Lightroom can yield outcomes that are far from your expectations.
It's important for you to have a Zen attitude when you go into the shoot. If you have that Zen attitude and let things happen the way they do, and just let things sort of flow, that calm is very contagious. Because you're calm, it emanates to the subject in front of you, and they do a good job. And one thing you do want is to have a subject that is calm in boudoir.
There are a couple of agreements I have with my models. Most contracts I have are TFP, time for print. This is the agreement between the model and photographer where no money is exchanged, but model photographer services are exchanged. In cases like this, a photographer has got to understand that a model puts in a great deal of time and effort into modeling for you. If they see nothing as an end result of their work and effort, they might be reluctant to shoot with you again. For the sake of keeping the initial energy of a photo shoot, take the time to at least rush a few of your favorite photos to the model as soon as possible. My method goes a bit like this: triage and rate my photos the night of the shoot. Find 4 or 8 personal favorites, edit and send to the model immediately, and then send all related photos in JPEG original size to the model.
There's a world inside my head.
Your first impression is not always wrong, but it can be a little foggy. Assessing shots right after a shoot is essential, but should be done with caution. Our eye has a tendency to see what we thought looked great through the visor or in the LCD on shooting day only. Because of this, we miss some really great shots that might have potential. When I revisit my photo shoots, there are always at least 2 shots that stand out. Perspective like this only happens with time. When shooting boudoir, context becomes important. Although it is vital to get the close-ups on the body lines, how your model interacts with the room environment can have impact on the sensuality you are trying to convey in your photos. For instance, a woman on her back in bed sheets can be beautiful, but if we notice that the woman is alone and on a bed in a large room posing for a viewer, a sense of waiting is communicated.
Make sure you always consider, while shooting, a wide-angle equivalent. Do the shots you want to do, the shots that you have in your mind, but at one point, always pull out the wide-angle lens, put it on your camera, go to the same angle you were just at, and try to get a wide-angle equivalent. I double the amount of shots I have. Some of the stuff you can come out with when you're forced to do wide-angle are really great.
Some boudoir shoots start off slow. However, as a relationship builds between the photographer and the model, shyness usually fades away. Depending on the photographer and the boudoir model, this buffer time can sometimes be quite long. If a photo shoot is too tight, not enough time is left to develop a rapport. So if you book something afterward, you might just be in the swing of things when it comes time to leave. Do not let that happen. Buffer time planning also goes for photo shoot preparation and the initial photographer-model meeting. Many subjects prefer to do a little small talk at the beginning to get acquainted. The last thing you want to do is interrupt a conversation with a sentence like, "Listen, I only have an hour and a half for this shoot, so can we start shooting right away?"
Make sure you plan a good 45 minutes before the shoot so that you can get relaxed, talk a bit, learn to know the model, let the model learn to know you, do the small talk thing. That will weigh in after when you actually do the shoot, and that person for some reason will subconsciously remember that you were a cool person. It's that simple. Remember to leave some time at the end while you do the takedown of your shoot to be able to talk to the person, because at that point you can talk about terms, you can talk about when you're going to be able to deliver the first drafts of the photos you took, the first edits, And it's always a good thing to leave yourself some time for both the beginning and the end of the shoot.
Try to manage your expectations on how a model will be during a photo session. Even though you consider yourself an excellent judge of personality, things become a bit different in the world of boudoir photography. Because the nature of a boudoir photo shoot is so particular, expected human behavior basically goes out the door. The beginning of a photo shoot is crucial, and if you feel that a model is not in a giving mood, be patient. It takes a little while for some people to let loose. The worst that can happen is that the photo shoot doesn't work out. Now, is that really that bad? But if you react negatively at the onset, you will guarantee a photo shoot flop. Remember, negativity encourages negativity. Stay positive, people. Realize that models have a great deal of power. I teach everyone to understand that no matter how good your photographic technique and camera gear is, you need to be shooting a great subject. Prioritize a positive attitude. If you shoot with someone that gave you great shots but made you live a nightmare experience, do not call the person back. You will always get better images, art, communication, and sensuality from someone who wants to be there shooting photos with you. Do not make the mistake of having vague terms for a photo shoot. Make sure that everyone involved in a photo shoot knows what they are getting out of it. No one does something for nothing. Makeup artists, stylists, models, and assistants need to have a clearly communicated message about what they will be receiving from a shoot. Talk about financial compensation, personality exposure, delivery delays, Instagram tags before even lifting a finger. Get all that stuff out there. If you do that well, not only does everyone know what to expect after a shoot, but those who complain unnecessarily will think twice if you have already established terms. All photographers know that there is nothing worse than getting to the point where you have edited a photo and you post it on Instagram just to get a message from a model that says they do not want to be seen or tagged or have a photo posted in public. It happens way more than people think and can be a real bummer for everyone involved. In conclusion, Lord knows that there are other mistakes boudoir photographers can make, but these are the mistakes that I've suffered from the most. The real goal for the photographer and the model is to come out of a photo shoot a winner. By avoiding these 10 points and following many of the power tips included in this video, both models and photographers will get photos and, most importantly, know what to expect.